AI, one of the stories, Crystal, that we've been wanting to focus on now for quite some time. Fundamentally, probably the thing that will be, when the historian looks back at this time period, a lot of the crap that we talk about here, day-to-day, whatever, controversy, none of that's even going to be a footnote. It will be about the big macroeconomic trends and artificial intelligence and the eventual, how it comes to be shaped, the corporate influence and all of that, as we see here with the development of Stargate, could be a big jump off in that period.
Incredibly consequential. And so Trump made this big announcement, Counterpoints cover, I'm sure you guys saw this too, that these private companies and investment funds were going to put $500 billion into building out AI-focused data centers in the US. One of the companies that was involved in that is OpenAI, headed by Sam Altman, who was formerly, up until like 5 minutes ago, major Democratic donor. Actually, full disclosure, he had previously contributed to a project that I ran to try to recruit working class candidates to run in Democratic primaries. So he was, buddies with Reid Hoffman, all in on the Democratic side. Once Trump won, suddenly, let me give you $1 million to the inauguration fund. Here I am at the inauguration, singing a very different tune, et cetera. The other piece of the backstory you need to know is that he and Elon are at war. Elon has sued him. They founded OpenAI originally together. They had a falling out. They both have different versions of what that falling out was over, but in any case, they're at war with one another. So let me show you a little bit of Sam Altman at this announcement, really buttering up Trump and doing the whole dance as part of this Stargate reveal. Let's take a listen.
To create hundreds of thousands of jobs, to create a new industry centered here. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President, and I'm thrilled that we get to. I think it'll be an exciting project. I think we'll be able to do all of the wonderful things that these guys talked about. But the fact that we get to do this in the United States is, I think, wonderful. So thank you very much.
First, let me talk to you, Sam, about what this means for AI and the future for the U.S. investment here.
This means we can create AI and AGI in the United States of America. Wouldn't have been obvious that this was possible. But I think a different president might not have been possible, but we are thrilled to get to do this. And I think it'll be great for Americans, great for the whole world.
And
it's great for the whole world. I'm sure. I'm sure it's great for the world.
Great for you, for sure.
Yeah.
And the tech oligarchs who are, at the forefront of this. But, I don't know if you watched the whole press conference. I did watch the whole press conference. Everybody was saying, oh my God, President Trump, this is so amazing. Like, this never would have happened without you, blah, blah, blah. And it is a little odd because there's no indication, at least, that public money is going into this. This is just like businesses who were doing a thing. Trump gets to take credit for and look like he's making this, giant investment, et cetera, et cetera. Also an opportunity for them to like kiss the ring and bend the knee and tell him how wonderful and great and brilliant he is, et cetera, et cetera. OpenAI put out an announcement on Twitter. Let's put this up on the screen. I'll read a little bit of the way that they framed this. They said the Stargate project's a new company intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years. Building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the U.S. will begin deploying $100 billion immediately. This infrastructure will secure American leadership in AI, create hundreds of thousands of American jobs, I'll believe that when I see it, and generate massive economic benefit for the entire world. This project will not only support the reindustrialization of the United States, quite the opposite actually, but also provide a strategic capability to protect the national security of America and its allies. We don't have this part up here, but they go on to name all the partners. SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and MGX. By the way, MGX is a UAE-based investment fund with huge investments from the Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund. Strange group of bedfellows. Anyway, the whole thing is a little bit odd. But the key part of this is underneath this big announcement, it's a big Trump initiative, something he's taking credit for. Elon Musk, Trump's first buddy, says they don't actually have the money. So Elon coming in hot, taking a shot, obviously, at Sam.
Yes.
But also inadvertently, perhaps, taking a shot at Trump and this, big glossy announcement that he made there.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's several dimensions to it, obviously, where you have basically Elon is now a White House official, so can we say that? A senior White House official is pouring cold water on Stargate. But Stargate itself is really worth looking at and saying, what the hell is going on here? Because effectively, the way I've come to understand it is that this is supposed to be a Manhattan project for AI to compete with China. There's only a big difference here, which is it's not being run by the United States government or to the public interest or with a coherent goal involved, and instead is basically being outsourced to the private sector. Now, the real reason why everyone should pay attention is first, let's just look at the colossal amount of money that we're talking about here. 500 billion. Look, I understand here that we can talk every once in a while like 100 billion, 200 billion, 500 billion is $500 billion. For a private corporation or even corporations to be able to come up with that sum is extraordinary. I mean, just think about that in terms of actual cash and dollars, even over a 10-year period. We've very rarely seen ever such private investments. But now, if that's going to happen, where does that money come from? And that's kind of what Elon is getting at here when he says they don't actually have the money. Now, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, has said, I'm good for my 80 billion. But I mean, keep in mind, this is a $2 trillion market cap corporation. Where is OpenAI's money coming from? Even Masa, over at SoftBank. A lot of people probably don't know a lot about SoftBank, but I encourage you to go and read some of the histories of Uber and WeWork, where Masa was very, very important in the development of those companies. Masa is literally the guy who told Adam Neumann to do all of this crazy shit over at WeWork. And he was like, the only thing I don't like about you, Adam, this is a direct quote. He said, the only thing I don't like about you, Adam, is that you're not crazy enough. And he's the one who encouraged him to go from an office space company to we live and we care and, drive a $40 billion company into the ground that eventually gets sold for scraps over to like a private equity giant or something.
And we'll be taught for years as a corporate cautionary tale.
That's who we're talking about here. I guess because I read the news, I'm aware of who these people are. It's really important to first think about where this money is coming from. As you said, the UAE, Masa in the past has taken tons of money from the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. Do we really want all of this money to be involved in our Manhattan project? But secondary to that, and part of the reason why I'm really concerned about the lack of oversight, and where at least, look, and somehow in this war, I'm like on Elon's side, where I'm like, yeah, I'm not so sure about all of this, is this is a corporate conglomerate, which is basically coming together as a cartel with all of these big tech companies who are now getting to decide our future of our economy, our medicine, as we're about to show you, which they're openly bragging, which will replace humanity, which will develop mRNA vaccines in 48 hours. How amazing. I'm sure they'll work and, all of that. If we put this stuff together, you're looking at it literally like an Elysium-led society. And they're not even shy about saying it all out loud. That's the crazy part.
That's all so well said. And that's not to say that there aren't potential benefits to society from AI. But as we'll get to in a minute, you also should look like this technology already exists. So we should also look at the way it's already being deployed. And many of the ways it's already being deployed are to eliminate jobs, make your healthcare worse, kill Palestinians in Gaza. So it's, listen, anytime you put the corporate profit motive at the center of innovation, then definitionally the benefit of humanity is not going to be the primary goal here. So the fact that it is being celebrated and so on, it is all really wild. Just to take you quickly through the Elon Musk, Sam Altman drama, because of course human drama is always interesting. And it's also another indication of the way all of these tech oligarch types are, even if they were previously totally on board with the Democratic brand, now completely bending the knee and sucking up to Trump, because that's where power is, that's where the money is, et cetera. Let's put this up on the screen, a little bit of this back and forth. So Elon says, hey, they don't actually have the money. By the way, Elon also self-interested here, has his own AI developments, et cetera. Sam Altman chimes in, Elon, I genuinely respect your accomplishments, and I think you're the most inspiring entrepreneur of our time. Because again, he sees who has power, and Elon Musk has a lot of position and power. Let's put the next piece up on the screen. So Elon says, SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. Sam says, wrong, as you surely know. Want to come visit the first site already underway? This is great for the country. I realize what is great for the country isn't always what's optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you'll mostly put America first. Let's put the next piece up on the screen. As this continues, you had someone who pointed out online, basically like in one tweet, Sam being like, oh my God, Elon's so amazing. And then in another tweet, criticizing him. And Sam says, well, both sentiments are true. I don't think he's a nice person or treating us fairly, but you have to respect the guy. And he pushes all of us to be more ambitious. Elon again chimes in, so the next one up on the screen, pointing out, as I recently did, that Sam was until 5 seconds ago totally tied in with the
he's a huge
Democratic.
lid. Like what?
With the Democratic machine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he put significant financial resources into the Democratic Party.